See, there are some lot of doubts in the yesterday session. Okay? So that will be clarified today. Okay? So let me bet even the experienced candidates, they won't be in a position to answer this question in the very first attempt. Okay, what was the confusion that is happening here is, see, I said no, if you want to define a method, okay, so you have to keep the access modifier. Okay, you can describe it either by using static keyword or non-static keyword. Data type is called as what? Return type. Okay, byte. I'm using byte. Okay, this is the name, and there are no parameters. And if you see here, you're passing a value 100. I mean 1000 here. You're passing the value 1000, right? Okay, if I just have to, so there is a mistake here. Okay, there is a mistake in building this method. There is a mistake in designing this method. What is the mistake here? Just focus. See, let us take this two part, okay, byte and the return type, right? So I am just putting it like this. So the return type is byte data type. Okay, under this, I am returning a value something like 1000. Okay, so just to put an arrow mark, okay, just put an arrow mark. Okay, see, put the actual data type here. Okay, you say when you say 1000, 1000 is nothing but what? Integer, right? And in the above you have byte, right? And this is the arrow mark. Yeah, arrow mark. So what this arrow mark is representing is, you are trying to do what? You are trying to convert it from higher data type to the lower data type, right? So this is what the arrow mark is representing. You are converting it from higher data type to the lower data type, no? High to lower, right? So what is the definition for converting an higher data? What does it mean when you do a data type conversion from higher data type to the lower data type? What does it mean? It is a concept of narrowing, right? So do you agree it is a concept of narrowing, right? It is a concept of narrowing, right? So when you do the narrowing, when the data type is being converted from higher to lower, when you do the narrowing, so what you have to do here, okay, before the return statement, you have to typecast it to the data type that is being expected. So this is the data type that is being expected. Byte is a data type, but you are what? You are putting a data type that is not within the range of byte. Okay, what is the range of byte? Minus 128 to positive 127. Right? This is the range of byte. But what is the actual value that you're trying to put in here? What is the actual value? You're putting 1000. This 1000 is not compatible to the data type that you're putting it here, right? So before even assigning a value, just check, okay, this value is higher than this, so you have to do the typecasting from your side, which is what? Narrowing. This is the first example, right? So just look here. So there is a mistake here. It won't run. If I just run this code, you will get a compile time error. I'm forcefully running this code, you will get a compile time error. Why you will get a compile time error? See, it says, I mean, it is not getting executed. Yes, actually, it says, so there is a red line under this. No? Under this value, there is a red line. It says, okay, add cast to the byte. Add cast to the byte. 1 minute, guys. Dot println. Let me call this method. Okay. So whatever you are getting, unresolved compilation problem, type mismatch, cannot convert integer to byte. Look at this error. So the error itself clearly saying that we are doing a mistake. What mistake we are doing? It's the mistake that we are doing. You are trying to assign. You are trying to put a value, okay, that is not getting fit in the range of byte data type. Right? It says what? Unresolved compilation cannot convert integer to byte. I am not able to convert the integer to byte. So you are forcefully typecasting it. You're forcefully typecasting it. When you do the typecasting from your side, it is a concept of narrowing, no? So that the both data types will become compactable now. Both data types will become compactable. Now this time you will not see any errors. That is it. So if you want to store this value, you can take something like a variable byte and just store this value. -24. Data loss is there. Okay, let me take another example. Now this time I want to take the value float here. Okay, and I want to pass the integer value. You know, it is what 1000. It's an integer value. Or let me take integer here. Okay, let me pass a floating point value here. Okay, now you see. Let us try to trace this. Okay, let us try to trace this. What is happening? We are trying to understand that whether our method construction is correct or not. Whether our method construction is correct or not. Okay, first take the return type here. Okay, and take the return value here. Okay, just do the comparison. So in the okay, the return type is what? Integer. The value that is being returned is what? 1000.56 f. Okay, put an arrow mark facing to top, right? Write the data type. Okay, the data type that you're representing here is what? Float. Okay, the data type that is here is what? Integer. Okay, what you're trying to do, you're trying to convert the higher data type to the lower data type. So the below one is higher, the above one is lower. Higher, lower. Okay. So when you try to convert a data type from higher one to the lower one, it is a concept of what? It is a concept of narrowing. The concept of narrowing. So what is a narrowing means? Okay, you are trying to assign what? You are trying to assign a value float which is higher comparatively to the integer. Right? If you want to do the narrowing, you have to typecast it explicitly. You have to do the you have to do the typecasting forcefully. Okay, how I can do the typecasting forcefully? Okay, if I just run this code, okay, if I just run this method, I will get an error like let me run this. I'm getting an error. Unresolved compilation problem. Type mismatch. Cannot convert float to the integer. This error. This is the error that we are getting. Because in the bottom you have float, in the top you have integer. We're trying to do the what? Store the higher value to the lower value, which is not possible. If you want to make it possible, you have to approach the narrowing concept. What is narrowing concept? You have to do the typecasting forcefully. How can you do the typecasting forcefully? Just use the typecast operator here, okay, and convert it to integer. Okay, now this is valid. There will be data loss. Okay, there will be precision loss. Okay, you are returning 1000.56 here, but it is just considering the integral part. Okay, there is a data loss here. That is okay when this is a requirement. Okay, so one more example. Okay, let me say, let me take it like double. Okay, Okay, this example only. Let me take float and let me send a integer only, something like uh, integer 100.78f. Now see what I am doing. Now see the problem here. Okay, focus the problem. You will get multiple errors. Okay, this with this example you can understand everything. Okay, we will understand first how this method is designed. So this is the user defined method, right? Okay, just check the return type. Return type is integer, okay, but the value that is being returned is float. Okay, so there is a mismatch here, right? It is not getting compactable. So you have an integer and here you have a floating point value which is what, 100.78f, right? So after this what you are doing, okay, just put an arrow mark here. Okay, now you know what is the problem. There in the top you have the lower data type compared to this. Okay, when you do the comparison, this is integer which is lower than the float. Float is what, higher according to the table. Float is what, higher. Okay, you forgot the table. Let me show the table for you. Okay, so integer is here. Okay, float is here. The float is higher. So you are trying to store the higher value to the lower data type, which is not possible in Java. So this is concept of what, it is giving out a concept of what, narrowing. Okay. In order to make it compactable, you need to do the typecasting. So what do you do? Okay, you have to forcefully typecast this value to the respective data type. So integer. Okay, one problem is solved. One of the problem is solved, right? So what is the second problem that you're going to get? Okay, let us say you have converted it into integer. Okay. So the method that you have built is now perfectly all right. But there is one more problem here. What is the second problem we are going to face? Okay, let me copy this. Let me paste this. Pay attention to this code. Okay. Second problem that we are going to face. So this is going to call what? This is going to call add two numbers. So execution will start from here. This is returning a value 100.78 which will be converted to an integer. Okay, because you're doing the typecasting, the fractional part will be eliminated. Okay, it is trying to store this value 100, okay, which is of what, which is of the integer type. Integer. Why integer? Because the return type is integer. Okay, this value is stored in a data type which is of integer type. But at the time of returning, you are trying to store it to the byte data type. Again, there is no compactability. It's like you have a value 100 which is of integer type, but you are trying to forcefully store into the byte data type. It's not possible because higher data type is getting assigned to what? Higher data type is getting assigned to the lower data type. This is higher and this is lower data type. In order to make these two compactable, you need to do the typecasting. We need to convert the returned value to what? You need to convert the returned value to what? Byte. Okay, addition of two numbers is nothing but, okay, this method call which is going to return a value 100. This 100 is of integer type. Okay, and if you get the integer type, it cannot be compactable with the byte data type, so you need to do the typecasting once again. And if you print a, now there will be no errors. right? Okay, now let us understand this step by step. Okay, last explanation on this. All your doubts will be clear. Last explanation. Okay, now see what is happening. Execution will start from main method. Okay, from here the execution will start. Okay, and this line has two parts. Okay, the part in the right hand side, the part in the left hand side. Okay, so what is the part in the right hand side? Okay, adding two numbers. Okay, the control will be transmitted to the respective method call. From here the control will jump to the add two numbers method, right? So all the executions inside this add method will get executed. I mean add two numbers method will get executed. So only one instruction is there, which is what? It is going to return a value. It's going to return a value. What is the value? 100.78 m. Okay, this as the, since you are typecasting it to the integer, the fractional part will be eliminated. It is going to collect only the integral part, which is what? 100. Okay, after completing the execution of this method, it is going to come back to the place where it was, from where it was transmitted. It's going to come back to the same place. Okay, now this 100, okay, this 100 is by default, okay, it is integer in nature. First return type is integer. It is this value is coming as what? This value is coming as, hey, I am the value with the data type integer. I am the value with the data type what? Integer. Okay, but on the other side, you have what? On the other side, you have the byte data type. Okay, so here on the you are getting integer data type, but on the other side you have byte data. To make it compactable, you are doing the typecasting here, right? If you are not doing the typecasting here, you will get an error. It will not accept, will not become compactable. That's the reason I am doing typecasting here and I am doing typecasting here. This problem will come when you try to assign the higher data type to the lower data type. That we are solving it by using what? By typecasting it from our side forcefully. Are you getting this? Hello? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
What about others? Ravani, Aboli, Pranati. Okay, let me see who is going to answer this. Just tell me if this is valid or invalid. Okay, I have a method. Public or static short hello. Okay, return. Tell me guys, is this valid or invalid? Anyone can answer.
Invalid.
Why invalid? Okay, good. At least you are answering it invalid. Okay, invalid. Yes, invalid. Correct. Because this is short data type. Okay. See, always remember, guys. At least you are answering. Okay, let me say short. You are passing a value 100. Focus here. Okay. Let me remove all this. Not required. Not required. So some confusions will be there. I just want to eliminate that. Let me run this. You are getting 1000. Okay, you're getting a value 1000. Okay, what is the range of short? Range of the short is what? This 1000 will definitely fit in the short range, right? Hello? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Will fit, no? Okay, so there will not be any errors. There will not be any errors. You have to check that first. Okay, let me give you another example. Instead of short, okay, let me say something like valid or invalid now. Think and tell me.
Invalid.
Invalid. Why invalid? It is not fitting in the range of short data type. Okay, this range is what? Out of the short range. Short range is something like minus 65 to plus, I mean minus 32,000 to plus 32,000, right? So this is more than that. It will not fit here. How to make it fit? How to make it valid? By using typecast operator. Convert this to what? Use a typecast operator like short here. Now it will become valid. No? Hello, do you agree with me? Yes, no? Hello?
Yes.
Getting no? See, these things are, it looks very simple, but see, you are getting an error. Run this code, it would end up in saying that you cannot convert what integer cannot be converted to short. How to make it possible? Just use the typecast operator short here. Getting no? One more example. Let me use this space. Public static. This time let me say okay. Let me say integer. Hello. Let me say return. Now tell me valid or invalid. I have designed a method. Okay. I have the return type. I have the return type here, and I'm returning a value here. This is valid or invalid? Should be very fast. Okay. Hello. Are you typing it in the chat box? Anyone tell me valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid. Very good. Why?
Invalid, sir.
Yes, invalid. Why? Because this is. Just do the comparison. Okay. Do the comparison. Comparison between these two. This value and this return type. When you do the comparison, okay, you would find okay. This is lower data type and this is the higher data type. Okay. The concept of narrowing is coming into the picture. Right? You cannot assign a larger value to the smaller value. I mean, you cannot assign the larger data type to smaller data type. In order to make it valid, just do the typecasting here. Integer. Right? And the second thing is, see, when I want to collect this in the main method, when I want to collect this value in the main method, now you have to tell me whether it is valid or not. How do I call this method? Simply by using what? Simply by using hello. Hello, okay. When I call hello from the main method, when I call hello, right, it will return a value, right? It will return a value 100.999 will be eliminated because of typecasting. 99 will be eliminated because of typecasting. It is going to return 100, okay. If I try to use short a equal to hello, now tell me it is valid or invalid. Think and tell me. You got my question now? See, internally so many typecasting we have to take care. In so many areas we need to take care of the typecasting. Now tell me this line is going to be valid or invalid. Anyone? Hello? Valid, invalid, or you don't know? Whatever the answer is, you can type. Hello? Okay, at least type. Type A in the chat box. A. I just want to confirm if I'm audible or not. Type A in the chat box. Hello? Everyone type A in the chat box. Others, Shravani, Pavitra, Pranati. Okay, you are able to type. Tell me now, valid. This one is valid or invalid. Okay, let me go to the code. See, my question is very simple. Hello here, right? I am using the data type integer here. Okay, I want to return a value 100 point, some a floating point value I'm trying to return force. So this is definitely the method building itself is wrong. Why? Because narrowing concept, I cannot assign a value of larger data type to the smaller data type. So I am forcefully casting it to integer. Okay, think from the main method, think from the caller perspective. You are calling the allow method here. Okay, whenever you call the allow method, when you just say allow, when you just call allow, you will expect a value. No, you will expect a value. In this case, instead of 100.98, you will be expecting an integer value. You will be expecting an integer value. Integer 100 will be expected. Let me type only value 100 because data loss will be there. Okay, because of narrowing, data loss will be there. This is integer value, right? We want to store this. Okay, when I call hello, I'm getting 100. When I call hello, I'm getting 100. Okay, so I want to store that 100. So what I am doing, I'm using the short data type to store it. Tell me, is this valid or invalid? The right hand side, when I call hello, I'm getting a value 100. But in the left hand side, I am using the store data type to store the value 100. Is it valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid. Why invalid? Sir, in the right hand side, you have the higher data type. The left hand side, you have the lower data type. This is the concept of narrowing. You need to do the typecasting. After typecasting, if I just print it, you will get the value. What the actual value is getting stored. Getting it or not? Hello, everyone. Have you understood this? At least. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. See, one last question I will say. Just answer me. Okay, this is not narrowing question. This is what? This is something like the widening question. It's a different concept. In the widening, you will not face any issues, guys. In the widening, see, I'm taking character
Yes,
here.
sir.
I'm taking character here. Okay, I'm returning a character, and here I am using what? I'm using integer here. Okay, I'm returning a character. I'm using an integer here, right? So let me remove this. If I call allow, what value I can expect? Take pen and paper. Take pen and paper. Always, don't think. Okay, always carry pen and paper next to you. Always carry pen and paper next to you, right? I'm calling allow. Hello. When I call hello, okay, I can expect some value here. I can expect some value. Okay, but draw a line like this for your understanding. Okay, just check. You have a character in the bottom, okay, and you have integer in the top. Okay, so you have a character value, integer value. Put an arrow mark. Okay, so this is the top one is higher than the bottom one. Higher. This is lower, which means lower data type is getting converted to higher data type. What is this concept? When you put a lower value to higher value, what is this concept? Widening or narrowing?
Widening.
Widening, no? For widening, typecasting is not required. Java will take care of typecasting internally. Yes or no? Java will take care of
Yes, sir.
typecasting, right? Yes. So this A will be converted to what? This Java is going to convert this A. Behind the Java, inside the Java library, there will be a big dictionary, a kind of big dictionary. Okay, each and every letter will represent a number. Each and every letter will represent a number. A is representing 65. This character A will be converted to a number 65 because this is the integer type. You don't see that, but internally this is happening because of widening. Okay, when you call allow, you get 65. Okay, likewise, when I call hello for 3 more times, okay, what will I get? I will get 65 for 3 times. Here I will get 165. Here I will get 165. Here I will get 165. Why 65? Because that is what the method is returning. Hello, It has to return A, but it's getting typecasted to integer. The equivalent value of A is what? 65. I get 65. If I call hello for 100 times, I will get 65. But the question is, if I wish to store the 65 somewhere in the memory, okay, what I can do? I can use the assignment operator. I can take any variable name A, right? And I can what? I can do something like it is returning an integer, right? I can use integer here, no issues. Okay, let me remove this. When I just do print system.println A, I can see what? I can see something like in the console 65. Very good. Okay. What I'm trying to do is instead of instead of integer, if I try to use byte, now tell me where exactly I'm making the mistake. Now what is happening in this line? Till execution, till the returned value is everything is fine. But what is happening here? Imagine and tell me.
Narrowing.
Now here narrowing is happening. Here the widening is happening. Method is what? In the method widening is happening. Okay, because lower to higher. Lower to higher. But here the right hand side is what? Higher. Left hand side is what? Lower, because 65 is representing an integer. Okay, when it narrowing is happening, when you see the concept of narrowing, you have to forcefully convert the, okay, allow means nothing but 65, you get 65. Okay, make sure that you typecast it to byte. No problem solved. Regarding when I just remove this, the problem exists, not execute. I need to solve this. I got this. Hello, yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Can we go with another example for the better understanding? Hello, can I get yes from everyone?
Yes.
Okay, we will see another example for the better understanding. See, now you have to answer this. Okay, you have to answer this. Okay. See, right, I am taking guys here. Here I am taking 10 plus 10, 100 plus 100, 100 plus 100. Okay. From the method perspective, from the method's perspective, what mistake I am doing here? What is happening here? Widening or narrowing? First, tell me that.
Narrowing.
Narrowing, because 100 plus 100 becomes 200. First thing. Okay, what is the second thing? This 200 will not fit in the range of byte data type, right? What is the range of byte data type? Minus 127 to positive, minus 128 to positive 127. Second thing, right? How do I make it compactable? Okay, I will put this in a bracket, right? And I will typecast to byte. Okay, now the method problem is solved, right? The method problem is solved. If I want to call this method, just by calling hello, right? When I say hello, I will be getting 200. I will be getting 200. Yes or no? I will be getting 200. So this is of what? This is of the byte data type only. So you are expecting a byte. I mean, actually, I don't get 200. There will be some, some values will be missing. Sorry. You have seen, some values is going to miss because there will be data loss. There will be data loss. So now some values will be missing. We are not sure what values it is. Now I get some value. Okay. Since the returned value is byte, I always have to ensure that I should use the byte data type here. But here, okay, if I use integer, is there any problem? Think and tell me. Here it's narrowing. What is the concept here? Widening or narrowing? Here it's narrowing. What is the concept here? Very simple. You are getting a forget of the value. Return type is byte. Okay, return type is byte. So trying to assign the value byte to the integer. Are you getting? Return type is byte. So when you call the allow method, it is byte only, right? We're trying to assign it to the integer. Now, what is this concept? Narrowing or widening? Assigning smaller data type to the larger data type is what? Widening. So for widening, no explicit typecasting is required. So there will be no errors. You can just print it. The loss of data. That's what we have discussed in the previous classes. That will be loss of data. Getting this? Hello?
Okay.
One more takeaway. Okay, see. Let me say integer here. Okay. Or let me take float. Here what I am doing is I am taking an integer value. Now you have to tell me, just identify and tell me widening is happening or narrowing is happening. This is integer. Is it widening or narrowing? Take pen and paper. Okay, just put integer here. In the bottom it is integer. In the top it is float. Okay, in the bottom it is lower. In the top it is higher. Which is what? When you put an arrow mark, lower to higher, widening, right? Widening. So no issues. You do not have to do the typecasting explicitly. Okay, now when I call allow, when I just call allow, right, I will be expecting a floating point value. I will be expecting a floating point value, but I want to store it. I want to store it somewhere, right? So since I'm expecting a floating point value, what I can do, I can say float a equal to hello. Float a equal to hello, right? If I just print a, I will be getting the what is the actual value that is stored in decimal, the decimal form 100.0. What if I do allow plus allow? Okay, this allow is giving you 1000. Okay, this allow is giving you another, I mean not 1000, what is it, lakh, 1 lakh. This another allow is giving you 1 lakh. 1 lakh plus 1 lakh what? 2 lakh. So 2 lakh will be displayed on the console. What if I add another allow? Okay, you are not only doing the method call. Okay, after doing the method call you can also do the arithmetic operations, because when you do the method call, just think about the expected value. Expected value is float. I can add float plus float plus float and I can assign it to the float itself. What is the issue here? Are you getting this question or not? Hello, everyone? Yes, no? Balaji, Balaji only will answer.
Okay.
Others, what about others? Ganati, Aboli, Ravani. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. This type, whatever it is. Or you want me to repeat or what? I'm not able to hear you guys. At least type in the chat box. Shall I repeat it? If repeat means yes or else no. Type in the chat box. I'm not able to hear you. Okay, Aboli is understanding. Okay. Others? Okay, let me test your understanding with this is a last question. Okay, so I am taking byte here. Focus here. Let me see who is going to answer this. I'm taking byte here. I'm returning the value 110. Okay. Quickly tell me, is this valid or invalid? Here, no widening is happening.
Yeah, valid.
Why not valid? Valid.
Valid.
Valid. Because
Valid, sir.
value is compactable, data type is also compactable. Okay, when I call hello for first time, what value I can expect? 10. Yes or no? Do you agree with that?
10.
Okay, when I
Yeah.
call hello second
10,
time,
sir.
10 I will get, right? I can keep calling hello, I will be getting
Yeah.
it. But my intention is what? I want to store it somewhere. Okay, what I am doing, instead of storing it, I just want to call hello plus hello. I want to call hello plus hello. I want to store the resultant value. I want to store resultant value to the byte. Is this valid or invalid? Interview question, popular interview question. Tell me valid or invalid.
Invalid.
Why invalid?
Invalid.
Why?
Byte plus byte is
Very good.
converted into int.
Very good, very good. Byte plus byte, the arithmetic operation of byte plus byte is what? Integer. You need to do the typecasting explicitly. Like this, you need to do the conversion. Okay, keep this in one bracket and keep this in another bracket. Now the problem is solved. It is not about the value. Value wise, it is going to be 20. But when you do the arithmetic operation on 2 byte operators, you will get this error. Okay, this is popular interview question. Very, very popular interview question. Okay. So one more question. See, I am expecting byte here. I am saying byte. Okay. When I instead of byte, okay. Now tell me, I use integer directly. Problem solved. What this line is doing? It is no typecasting is happening because hello plus hello is returning integer only. Integer is equal to integer. Is there any problem here? Hello. Okay. Now
No.
see,
No.
when I say double, now what is the problem here? Is there any problem? Because right hand side is always lower than the left hand side.
Narrowing.
Narrowing. Sorry, widening. Because this is integer,
Widening, yes.
integer, this is double. Okay. When I do character, what is the problem here? Problem is, sir, what is the problem? Okay. Allow is byte. This allow is also byte. It is returning what? Integer. Do you agree with that? Allow plus allow is integer, right? Hello. Yes,
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
Integer is higher, character is lower. So narrowing, right? When you want to stabilize, when you want to fix narrowing, you have to typecast it with the equivalent data type, which is what? Character. Problem solved. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
In the beginning level, it will be very difficult to understand. You just take pen and paper and if you keep practicing like this, okay, these concepts will be very, very clear. Okay, one more interview question I will ask. Try to answer this, okay? This was asked, let me say, byte equal to 10, byte b equal to 20. Now, what is the problem here?
Narrowing.
Correct. Narrowing. Why narrowing? Sir, you're doing a plus b. I understand that. You're doing a plus b, which means what? 10 plus 20. When you say byte plus byte is what? Always an integer. The resultant value is going to be what? Integer. Right? And again, what happening? You are trying to assign the integer value to the byte data type. So narrowing is coming into the picture. When I want to make it compactable, I need to do what? I need to do the typecasting. I should convert this to what? I should convert this to byte. First thing. So the method is clear. Next time, what I am doing is I am saying here hello, okay, plus hello, plus hello, plus hello. 4 times hello. Or let me say 3 times hello. 3 times hello. Okay, I am assigning this to a data type of what? Character data type. Now, what is the problem here?
Narrowing.
Narrowing again. Allow is what? Byte again. This is a byte. This is returning byte. This is returning byte. Byte plus byte plus byte is again integer. You're trying to put the integer value to the character data type. You need to do the typecasting explicitly once again. Character. So just print this. Yeah, we'll see the equivalent character. Right. So one last question. So this is fine. Let me say byte a equal to hello. Okay, byte b equal to another hello. Okay, byte c equal to a plus b. Now I think you have identified the problem. What is the problem here? Tell me where exactly the problem comes.
WRT narrowing.
Correct. Byte C narrowing. You are doing A plus B. A is byte, B is byte. This should be typecasted to what? This could be typecasted to the byte data type. As soon as you do
Byte data type.
correct. As soon as you do the typecasting, okay, you can see that error is getting eliminated. Now this is perfectly fine. Okay, have you understood the complete picture about this? How to declare a method and what are the in what areas you need to take care, especially while declaring this, while creating your own method. Are you getting it at least now? You're in a position to identify the errors now. Yes, no,
Yes, sir.
right? Now next thing, okay, tell me is this valid or invalid? Teacher, hello. Valid or invalid? Think and tell me. Anyone?
Valid.
Valid, huh? Okay, this is invalid. Why? Because at any point of time you can have only one written statement. Okay, at any point of time you can have only one written statement. Because you are having the two written statements in the same level, this is completely invalid. So why invalid? Only one written keyword should be used. Okay, now second one, focus here. Public static integer hello, then 100 interval. Valid or invalid? Is it valid or is it invalid? Anyone? Okay, let me tell you.
Invalid.
This is invalid. Why invalid is the return keyword should be at the last. Should be at the always at the last. You can have any statements, any number of instructions before the return keyword. Once you declare the return keyword, you cannot have any more statements after that. Right? So this is invalid because you cannot have any statements after the return. Once you use the return keyword, after that you cannot have any other statement. This is invalid. Making sense? Yes, no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are in a position to understand, no? Everyone? Pranati, Haboli, Harmi, Pavitra,
Yes.
clear, no? See. Now,
Yes,
now let us build a small calculator application with this. Okay, so I was stressing on the concept of reusability, right? Forget about all these things, okay? Now my requirement is I want to develop a calculator application. I want to develop 4 methods. I want to develop what? 4 methods. Okay. I'm giving the individual responsibility to each and every method. Individual responsibility I'm giving. What is the responsibility? First method will be created to add two numbers. Second method to subtract two numbers. Third method to multiply two given numbers. Fourth method to divide the two given numbers. This is my requirement. 4 methods I want to take. Okay, how I can write a method? I can write my method in a own way. For example, if I ever constructing a method, let us say this is a method, this is my method. Okay, I want to design my method in such a way that my method will accept an input. My method should accept an input. Okay, and it should give an output. Okay, sir. My method should accept an input, some inputs. Okay, and after consuming these inputs, it should return an output. Okay, how you can make a method to accept inputs? Okay, by passing what? By adding the parameters. Okay, my requirement is I want to accept two numbers from the end user. Two numbers from the end user. When I say two numbers, number is always treated as an integer, right? So in the parameters, okay, I will be writing a logic in such a way that I will declare two data types, integer a comma integer b. This is representing that, hey, I am the method, I can accept two integral numbers. You define the input, you consume the input in the parameters. Okay, how the output is given, how the output is defined? Output is defined by using the return keyword. What is the return keyword? Okay, hey, I consume the inputs and I can do the arithmetic addition in the return statement, a plus b. So my method should have what? My method should have parameter. My method should have the return type. This is how I can build a method, right? So you accept this method and you return the output. This input, this output. In a typical method, when I say public static void, not void, integer add. Okay, integer a comma integer b. Return a plus b. The focus here. Please rejoin, guys. Once you get knocked out of the meeting room, please rejoin. The class will be there for 5 more minutes. Okay. Not now if you get knocked out of the meeting room. This is my method. Yeah, this part is what? This part is nothing but the input. This method is accepting some inputs. How many inputs here? Two inputs. Okay, what is the type of the input it is accepting? It is accepting two integral values. This is representing input. Parameters are representing what? Input. Okay, a return type is representing output. How you will get an output? Just by calling this method. When you say add, and when you pass two arguments 10 comma 10, it is going to give you the output. You just call this method. Method is expecting two arguments. Okay, two integers. You pass two integers, is going to perform the mathematical operation. In this case, it is mathematical addition, and you get the output. What is output? You get 20. But you need to store this 20 somewhere. You can take a variable and you can take the data type. Okay, so this is a simple design of what? Addition method. For subtraction, I am copying this and I am pasting it here. Okay, again, I am taking the name as sub. I accept two inputs and I just perform the mathematical subtraction. For multiplication, okay, I can do the same thing. I'm taking the method as multiply, right? And I'm saying a star. And for division, okay, div. I can do a by. So I have four methods. The first method, the job of the first method is what? To perform arithmetic addition, subtraction. Meaningful names I am given. Multiplication, div means division. Right? I can call all these methods one by one. Okay, add, okay, which is accepting two arguments. Let me say 10 comma 10. Okay. Subtraction 10 comma 10. Multiplication 10 comma 10. Okay, division 10 comma 10. Okay, you are calling 4 methods from the main method. One is what? Add method, sub method, multiply method, division method. When you call add by passing parameters, okay, by passing parameters, okay, you get the result as what? 10 plus 10 becomes what? 20. When you call sub, 10 minus 10 becomes what? 0. When you call multiplication, 10 into 10 is what? 100. When you call division, 10 by 10 is what? 1. Quotient. Values will be returned, but you want to store it somewhere. Or I can show here. Add numbers, the variable name, integer type, sub numbers. Okay. Numbers, division numbers. So I get value and I'm storing it here. I get value, I am storing it here. Okay. If I want to see what values are being stored, I can simply use the print statement. Add number is going to give the actual value. Sub numbers is going to give the actual values. Division number is going to give the actual value. Multiplication number is going to give the actual value. Division number is going to give the actual values. Run this, you get what? 20, 0, 100, 1. So we are able to build method successfully. So so we can call this method many number of times. It is not like we have to call it for one time. You can pass different values by using scanner class also. Okay, not only this, you can pass any different combinations. But based upon that, the processing will happen, which is actually taking care of processing. In the actual method, we are writing the business logic. The logic is written inside the method. The logic is separated for each and every mathematical operation. This logic can be reused any number of times, reusability. It is an advantage of building a method. You are just separating the logic from the main method. You are separating the logic from the main method. Right? So let us say if the requirement is what? If the requirement is something like you want to accept the input from the end user. Let us say if you want to accept the input from the end user. Okay. So I think you already know about the scanner class. Instead of doing this, I want to do what? I want to accept the input from the end user. I'm saying scanner sc equal to new scanner. This is going to do what? It's going to scan the inputs or read the inputs from the end user. Some dot in means it is going to read the input from the end user. Okay, what you can do? Hey, enter first number. Or something like this. Welcome to calculator application. Okay, in the very next line, a meaningful message in the end user. Please enter first number. Okay, you will be entering the first number. After entering the first number, okay, you need to collect that entry now. So you can use this reference sc dot next event, which means okay, the code is expecting an integer from the end user. Store what? First number. Okay, after this, please enter the second number. Okay, and use the scanner object and give a meaningful name second number. Okay, two numbers are collected from the console. Okay. Instead of hard coding it here, you can just use what? First number comma second number. Right, if let me run this code. Okay, some errors are there. Let me call this missing. Okay, it's asking, welcome to calculator. Please enter the first number. Let me enter 10. Please enter second number. Okay, let me enter 10 again. You see what? 20, 0. Okay. In order to display it meaningfully, you can say something like addition plus subtraction plus multiplication plus division. Okay, let me run this code. Hey, welcome to calculator. Enter the first number. Let me type 15. Enter the second number 15. Okay, addition of two numbers 30, subtraction 0, multiplication 225, division 1. Okay, the idea is very simple. Let us trace this. Okay, execution will start from main method. So you are saying what you are using the scanner class. Okay, scanner means nothing but when you say scanner, new scanner system dot which means input is expected from the keyboard or from the end user. Okay, the very next line says welcome to the calculator application. This line. Okay, what happens? This message will be printed in the console. The very next line, please enter first number. This will be printed in the console. Now see here, okay, right hand side, sc dot next int. Okay? The main thread will wait. Okay, main thread will wait until it receives the number in the console, which means it will wait until until you enter the number in the console. Okay, when you start executing this, okay, these two things are executed. Okay, on this very next instruction, okay, sc dot next integer. Next integer means next integer. It will wait for the end user to enter the number. If the end user is not entering any number, it will not go forward. It will stay stuck here forever. As soon as end user ends 100, something like this, okay, this 100 will be collected and stored inside the variable first number. Variable is what? First number. After collecting, it will move. It will try to bring the next one. What is the next one? Please enter the second number. Okay, that will be entered. End user will know he is supposed to enter the second number. End user will know as soon as he sees this message. Okay, after this, it is encountering again sc dot next int. Object of scanner, the reference variable of scanner class next int. It will wait until the end user is entering the second number. It will wait until the end user is entering the second number. As soon as he entered it, okay, this data will be collected and stored inside this what? Inside the second number variable. Okay, now things are done. After this what? There is a method called add method. First number, second. You are passing first number as 100, second number as 100. Okay, add method will get executed. It's going to return what? Addition of two numbers. Okay, you get the addition of two numbers, and the next thing what? Subtraction method, multiplication method. Each and every method will execute, and it is going to collect and store the processed value in this respective variable names. Okay, right? So here you have written you have separated the business logic for addition, for subtraction, for multiplication, for division, right? And it is going to return the exact values. Okay, each and every method is designed to accept inputs, two inputs from the end user. Okay, each and every method is expected to return the processed output or the manipulated output or the processed output. Right? After this, addition will be printed. The actual added numbers will be displayed. The actual subtracted number will be displayed. The actual multiplication number will be displayed. The actual division number will be displayed. Right? You can reuse this method for different combinations. Same method can be used for different combinations. You can use it for any number of combinations, and you can use it for many number of times. That's why method is always called as what? Why you want to use a method? For reusability and for better configuration. The interview room, they would ask you why methods are there. It's for reusability and it is for better configuration. To design the code to separate the logic from the main method for the better configuration. By looking at this method, you can identify, okay, this method is for this purpose, this method is for this purpose, and each and every method has a different task. Right? So by this today,